13-year-old taken into custody after police say a student brought a loaded gun into Pinconning High School. It's a scene that has become all too familiar at schools nationwide. Mid-MichiganNow's Chloe Godbold has been on this story all day. She joins us now. Chloe, what have you learned?
So, Dave, that's right. That teen is now in custody, and Michigan State Police says this incident is still under investigation. Michigan State Police also say this serves as an important reminder about safety for both parents and students. A student at Pinconning High School alerted staff on Tuesday afternoon that another student was in possession of a handgun and ammunition in the school. Michigan State Police went to the high school after receiving a call from Bay County 911.
We need to continue to take these incidents serious. We don't ever want to see a child harmed, especially at school.
Lieutenant Kim Vetter is the 3rd District Public Information Officer for Michigan State Police. Vetter says school administrators isolated the student immediately, and the 13-year-old male student was taken into custody by troopers. He is now at a local juvenile detention facility.
The circumstances surrounding the weapon being taken to the school are part of the investigation.
According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, 1/3 of all homes in the U.S. have guns, and nearly 65 million Americans own them. Vetter says she wants parents to continue to educate their children about illegal firearm possession.
It is illegal to take a firearm, and it's also unsafe to take a firearm or any weapon to school. Please speak with your children and ensure that they have the right tools to be safe at school. They know who to talk to if they see a harmful activity at school, and that they know the consequences if they were to be engaged in harmful behavior at school.
According to this report, they say that the state will remain in the bottom 10 of states across the country until at least 2030. Now, the group that put this together is a policy education group. They also do research. Now, according to this report, Michigan dropped during the pandemic, but the state dropped further and faster amid the pandemic compared to other states. The state school board vice president says this was decades in the making. Dr. Pamela Pugh says that the global pandemic did have an impact on these scores and how low students are ranking when it comes to testing both reading and math. But Pugh tells me that this is also a result of schools not being adequately funded for years in Michigan. A 2021 report from this same education policy group says Michigan underfunds vulnerable students compared to other states.
These are conditions that we've dealt with for so long. When we look at school buildings and the building conditions that our children are learning in, when we look at some schools not having teachers, it didn't just start with COVID and the pandemic, but we've had shortage of educators in Saginaw schools and other school districts like Saginaw for a while.
911 dispatchers handle life and death situations every single day, and they play an important role in public safety. That's why some centers across Michigan are looking to hire new employees, and prior experience isn't always required. Empty desks and blank computer screens can be found in the Genesee County 911 Dispatch Center. Jessica Young, who does telecommunications, says the staff worked a combined 18,000 hours of overtime last year to give proper emergency coverage.
I think it's public safety in general is really experiencing a shortage in staffing, from across the board police officers to dispatchers.
Young says the nationwide staffing shortage has hit them as well, and she doesn't think many are aware that this is a career option.
We're the quiet lifeline. You don't hear a lot about us. You don't see us very often, but we are the ones that take the calls. We're the ones that are trained to help you in your emergency and help you while the responders are driving there.
Young also says it's tough finding the right employees who are willing to work the hours.
Unfortunately, we do work some crazy hours, 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, night shift, holidays.
Genesee County Dispatch Center is not alone. Isabella County is also experiencing a staff shortage, so they're trying a new approach, having people just come in and take a skills test without having to first apply.
So it's about a 2-hour electronic test. You don't have to fill out an application. After you take that test, you can sit down and talk for a couple minutes with our staff.
MacArthur Griffiths tells me Isabella Dispatch experienced several employee retirements right before COVID hit. Along with the staff shortage, Griffiths says there's been an increase in calls.
We've seen a serious increase in mental health calls, people who need help. We've seen some increase in the number of violence calls in our community too.